Good morning, Red, and welcome to this morning's meditation seminar. We'll suspend our mind just a little bit. It's like pausing, huh? And then we shift our awareness rather than being located in mind alone. We shift awareness to become aware of its own self. What the Dzogchen calls Rigpa is simply our awareness becoming aware of awareness itself. as we are in awareness, we can hear, we can see through our mind sensations and experience. So we begin to experience everything through this field of awareness. And we're freed from experiencing everything in mind alone. So our experience becomes grounded in this field of spaciousness, in this field of energy, aliveness, vitalness, in this field of light, illumination, and then this field begins to illuminate our mind, our feelings, our experience. Our desires. And in this process of embodying this awareness, more often than not we're dissociated from it in mind alone. But as we embody this awareness, we begin to experience this awareness not only within inside of us, but beyond us, around us. We begin to actually experience awareness within everything and anything. This indivisibility. And this very same awareness begins to illuminate our experience of our own self, but actually also otherness. Begins to illuminate our experience of everything and everyone. One of the great Dzogchen masters would say, the perception of awareness illuminates the perception of mind, that there's gnosis of mind. You start to see more directly through your mind, less veiled. And we begin to see in time that everything, every experience, every thought is a manifestation of this awareness, this primordial awareness that manifests itself in us as us. This being, this field of being that manifests itself as our own being. The power of awareness is that awareness knows being itself, since it is being itself. Our mind knows things and forms, And as we integrate them, what Jung called the mysterious conjunctio, then through our own being, we experience being itself. And through the being of others, we actually experience being itself. Then we begin to live in the sea of being. We actually come to experience that our very self, inner self, myself, ahama, I am, is the field of being itself, as me, c'est moi, singularity. Home. And as we begin to experience our own self as this field of being, as us, that view influences everything. Once Lacan, a very famous French analyst, talking at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, said, "Wow, desire built Baltimore." Actually, desire builds everything. You, I. You wouldn't be sitting where you're sitting without desire. Desire is the very manifestation of being itself. Desire is the manifestation of being itself. Desire is the manifestation of the arising of being within our own being. Desire arises out of fullness. Desire creates everything and anything. The very field of being is vitalness, energy, Shakti, manifesting. Bringing you forth into this world. Some traditions think desire is really bad. And that you should dissociate from all desire. And you should dissociate from all attachment, bondedness. Actually, we can really do this easily. But as we take that dissociative path, liberation through negation, we become, through the dissociative methods, dissociated, not embodied. And the more we dissociate, the more we fragment. And the more we fragment and dissociate, then the world seems as if. It's not real. It's as if. And after the world starts to seem as if, then you become as if. And then you have no self. Atman. A big hole. Void. Self-arising. Experiencing the self-arising of awareness, knowingness, being, manifesting in ourself, everything and anything, and experiencing our indivisibleness with everything and anything. Liberation. And as we linger daily in this awareness, in union with our mind, we experience this range of being in time, like right now, and timelessness at the same time. Because awareness, as it opens, is timelessness, timeless awareness, manifesting in time. And then, slowly but surely, we begin to feel at home in time and timelessness simultaneously. And the more we embody this sense of timelessness in time, paradoxically, wonderfully, and amazingly, the fear, the terror of annihilation anxiety dissolves, since we are timeless. Timeless. You don't believe it. Who cares if you believe that sort of thing? But you experience timelessness in time. Unborn, undying. Just as you are. The great 8th century text, the Gurdaba Tantra, says, bring your mind into your heart. Bring your mind into your awareness. Learn how to do that. These traditions, these Nando traditions, they're not very religious. These lineages describe powers that arise for ordinary people. Nothing exceptional, please. Funny word, exceptional. But the power of extension, the power of extending your own awareness beyond your body into the world, into situations, inside to inside. That's the power of compassion. It's an action. The power of amplification, where you can intensify this field of awareness in your own body and in situations. Intensity. The world's intense. You meet it the power of toning down, modulating the energy in yourself and situations. And the power of magnetization, bringing, pulling, magnetizing the field of energy and light, the elements into your own body. Subtleness. None of this is magic. You simply have to do it. It is a praxis. And as you and I learn to hang around in awareness, no matter what's happening, it begins to manifest itself. It not only manifests itself in appearances, in circumstances, in events, but this awareness manifests itself not only as our own awareness, as us, c'est moi, but it manifests its dimensionality. It begins to manifest the sparks, the energies, the configurations, the archetypes. And we can code these archetypes however you want to, right? But begin to experience that which brings forth our ordinary experience. This archetypal realm. The beginningness of it. And then we start to relate to awareness in its multidimensionality. Some see them as gods and goddesses, light, energy, vortexes, however it manifests, energies, fields, powers, poles. And then it opens as just that pure potentiality. Pure. And then we feel ourselves being manifested in time, and then dissolving from time into timelessness. One more time. this particular understanding is is found in many different traditions, huh? It's usually tucked away in the corner because it's like an eraser. It dissolves everything that went before it. Dissolves hierarchy. Dissolves this and that. It's very simple. So simple. And so near. You don't need intermediaries. With this understanding, we'll extend our awareness to each other in this room and to our friends on the internet. We'll extend it to people you know and love. It's a great gift. Extend it to your ancestors and friends who have left time for a while. Mothers and fathers. Brothers, sisters, companions. Pets. We'll extend it to people, great teachers who you may have met, first grade, who embody this experience, whatever they call it, and who you had residence with. The great yogis, adventurous, independent. Extended to different traditions you participate in, where this understanding arises for you. Self-liberation through embodiment of awareness. We'll extend it to that mysterious dimension that is archetypal. With the power of invocation to bring that forth. For yourself and others. And this pathless path of awareness is liberation through circumstance. And it's quite the opposite of dissociative path. We dissociate from everything and anything. Liberation through circumstance, huh? Liberation through events. Liberation through happenings. Through the manifestation of being itself. In this pathless path, you don't earn anything. It's all given. The givenness of experience, the givenness of events. The great one of the people who brought this understanding to Tibet, just like other people brought it to other countries, as it arises and manifests from one person to another, was Padmasambhava. And Padmasambhava used to say that this understanding won't really come into power till the machines fly. So he was like 9th century. And then he supposedly planted, this understanding in different people, and then it'd reincarnate different places, and then they would and then they would teach and bring this understanding in the right time and right place. But I think it's cool because most spirituality is monastic. Not this, not that. And neither that either. Whereas in this time, there's a understanding, a cultural understanding that understands this. It's not very patriarchal. It's not theocentric. It's not authoritarian. And if you really need that sort of thing, it really may not be your cup of tea. It's actually very pantheistic. Or Swami Muktananda would say, God dwells within you as you And God is the world. Everything is God. Absolutely everything. He used to also say, God is a fantastic experience. Not always easy, but fantastic. Extension is a wonderful practice, and it's a practice that brings forth awareness out of resonance. Huh? So one practice sometimes you can extend to people you've known who actually embody this. We'll do that this morning. I'd like us to extend to Swami Muktananda, who we celebrated his samadhi a few days ago. Second. So we'll extend. Actually extending to the field of awareness, huh? From timeless awareness. We'll do that for a moment. Let's see what happens. Let's extend to the Dzogchen tradition, Lama Tarchen, who died about 3 years ago. Let's enter the archetypal. Let's extend to the Divine Mother in her many forms. With its earth, Kuan Yin, Yeshitogo, Mary, energy. Let's extend to the Dharmakaya, ground awareness, pure awareness, just pure awareness. Like the purity of our own awareness. It's always pure. Embodying When Lord Buddha, or Sakyamuni, created his first teaching was the Four Noble Truths. They were all exercises in dissociation in order to avoid suffering. And dissociation is the major human way of trying to avoid suffering. And it's very useful at times to have dissociation in your pocket, right? But taking it as a path to avoid suffering actually has its own suffering. Because in a very deep way, dissociation is suffering. It's quite the opposite of embodying the light, embodying luminous flesh and the energy and the divinity in our own self. It is true, you give up all desire, you will give up self, you'll give up embodiment, and the world becomes as if. With that, we'll rub our hands together and place it in our hearts. And you're welcome to meditate to 9 o'clock. There's refreshments upstairs. And next week, we will not have meditation next week, but the following week we'll be having meditation. I'd like to thank everybody for coming this morning. And I'll put that chant back on, Haribol.